morning, good morning, good morning. And today is Wednesday, I think the 5th of March, 2025. And I'm doing a mental health piece, y'all. I'm so excited. Y'all know mental health is also my baby. Just like talking about. And I noticed when the season started to change, a lot of people began to struggle with mental health things. And today, healthy boundaries and what that looks like, right? So let's dive right into it. Having healthy boundaries mean clear communication, very clear communication. You'll need to have clear communication that because it is uncomfortable, right? Like saying no to someone is uncomfortable when it's necessary. But you can always do it in a respectful way. But we have to know when to say no. We have to know when enough is enough. We have to know, when enough is enough. So that's what I wanted to just talk about was self-care, boundaries. What does that look like? And that's direct conversation and communication, right? So letting someone know from the beginning. And I struggle with this still to this day. This is something that I'm working on. That direct conversation, which is clear statements of what your expectations are. And you don't have to feel guilty or apologize for it afterwards. Don't, because those are your boundaries. And the people that genuinely care, or the people that can handle it, they will be okay with your boundaries. Everybody won't be, and that's okay. That's okay. Once we start setting boundaries for people, people will start disappearing, and that's fine. But you have to have that communication piece. You have to talk the things that you will. Willing to say no. And it may feel uncomfortable in the beginning, but the more you do it, the more you'll get comfortable with it. Because sometimes some of the things that people are wanting us to do is not realistic for us. It may be realistic to them, but it's not realistic for you. And if it's something that you cannot do, it's okay to say, no, I can't do that right now. I have too much on my plate. Or no, that's something that I don't believe in, so I don't want to be a part of that, right? This is something that this was very, very, very hard for me in the beginning. Carry others people emotions. And what I mean by that is, let's say I'm in a very good mood, like today, in a very good mood, right? Someone called me, or someone that I'm in the house with, they're mad, they have an attitude, and all of a sudden my mood is automatically messed up. That was me in the past. I'm not like that anymore as much, but that was definitely me. Just someone not being in a good mood or being upset, and I could have nothing to do with it. It would totally set me off, where my mood was jacked up for the remainder of the day. I would have an attitude and just be all over the place just because of what someone else was feeling. I would carry it. Even with friends, if I was on the phone talking to friends and they was talking about their issues, a lot of times once I started my journey with just working on myself, I noticed I would emotionally eat, not just for myself, but also because of what they were going through, right? I would carry it on me. I would be and then I would also have pains, like those stress pains, when people that I love was going through. Like my stomach would ache really bad. I would feel nauseous, all of those things, because I was carrying their emotions along with me, right? And then also time management. This is also something that I'm still working on, setting limitations of how much time it takes for them to do something for you, or how many chances am I going to give you? How many times can you just continue to do the same thing for me before I tap out? How long do I give you to get something done that you said you were going to complete for me? Like all of those things, that's time management, setting those boundaries and actually following through with them. Do not allow someone to step all over you or walk all over you because you're saving their feelings. Because when we do that, then we're putting our feelings on the back burner. So we're doing more damage to ourselves, trying to make sure someone else is okay. And if they're not giving us what they said they were able to give us in the proper time frame that we required, then they're definitely not caring about us and our feelings. So sometimes we have to be really aware of that. And I'm not saying like treat them rude or be mean or be evil and don't do all of those things, but you know how to separate yourself. If you don't, just you can, for me, it's having a conversation. It's not just disappearing and not saying anything. It's kind of like, hey, I've had this conversation with you a few times and I just don't feel like I'm a priority. I don't feel like my feelings are being acknowledged. And and you have told me over and over and over you were going to do X, Y, Z, and it still has not happened. Or, hey, 4 months ago you said that we were going to do start working on this project, and I've asked you a few times and you keep saying yeah, but we're still not doing anything. So all of those things is just knowing the boundaries and that timeline, and letting them know, like, look, put up with a lot of things, giving people time, and they're saying the things that we want to hear, but is the actions following that? And what I mean by that is a mouth can tell you anything. A mouth can say absolutely anything. Anything. It's the actions that you need to go off of. But they're talking a good game. So we need to see those actions, right? Physical boundaries. Respect personal space and comfort levels with physical connections. That is another big one, because remember, this can be with anyone. You don't need anyone in your personal space. And it's okay for you to say, I feel uncomfortable. Can you scoot back? And I've had to do that a couple of times, especially at work, where it's just like, oh, dang, you kind of up in my personal space. And this is what I really think, certain cultures, personal space looks different for everyone, right? So sometimes they're not meaning any harm. It's just in their culture, it's okay to be a little closer than other cultures are used to. So we literally get uncomfortable. Can you back a little bit? Things like that. Just so you're feeling safe in your space. We don't have to be rude and self-awareness is another one. Understanding your own needs and limitations. Church, work, family, relationships. It's just you keep putting yourself off to satisfy others and make sure others are good. But the people that you're doing this with, what are they giving you in return? Like, are they trying to make you feel like a priority in any type of way with you being respectful of the things that they're going through and being considerate? Because it's easy if a person is choosing to allow you to just, okay, life is lifing. This you got this project and you need me to take it on for you. Okay, I'll do that. But then you're telling me you don't tell me what the guidelines are. So when I do it, you're like, oh no, that's wrong. And then I have to go back and redo it. But you tell me that I could freestyle it. So it's things like that. Or even with family, they need XYZ. Or for example, with family, they ask you to borrow money. They borrow the money. They don't give you the money back, but then you see them going out to eat all the time, shopping all the time, having their hair is always done, and you're like, well, this person borrowed $200 from me, told me they was going to give it back in a week, haven't given it back, but they're shopping all the time, things like that. So it's just like being aware of all of those circumstances. Remember, we have to have boundaries in every part of our life. Work, friendships, and romantic relationships, family. You have to have boundaries, and the boundaries will look different with everyone. So at work, if you cannot do additional tasks, it's okay when you're already overloaded. This is what whatever your scheduled time is the time that you should be working, checking your email, responding to people, and actually working on projects. Do not overwork yourself. Do not put work and out of work time together. Don't do that. If you have too many tasks and you're already overwhelmed, it's okay for you to say, hey, you're giving me a lot of tasks to do. I don't know how I'm going to be able to execute them because I'm already overloaded. It's okay for you to say that. Friendships. It's okay for you to say that you're uncomfortable with some of the conversations. You're uncomfortable with them always pouring out all of their problems with you. And then when you try to say one thing that you're going through, you can't get anything in edgewise because they're just using you as a human dumping ban. Like, just dump all their problems at your feet. But when you try to say one thing, you can't get anything in, right? So we have to set those boundaries too with friendships and work. For example, y'all both have children, you and your sister, and y'all kids are around the same age. She's always asking you to watch her kids. You're doing it. You're watching them for free, but you're noticing every time you ask her if she can watch your kids, which is not often, she's maybe saying she's always too busy, So it's like, I can always do this for you, but you can't ever do it for me. Like, those are the things that we have to look at and set healthy boundaries for, right? In your romantic relationship, communication, you need to communicate in an effective way, and also have intimacy, right? And intimacy is more than just a sex act. Intimacy is a lot of other things. Holding hands, cuddling, giving those kisses, hugging, being able to be honest with each other, and not the other person is not shutting down, or I tell you that I'm not feeling happy right now because of something that went on that I feel like maybe should not have went on. Maybe it's maybe you told me that you wasn't gonna go somewhere. You wasn't going to go somewhere, and then I find out that you did, and I tell you, well, that did not make me happy. I'm not happy right now. We need to have a conversation about this. And instead of him or her, y'all having this conversation, they tend to just shut down, ignore you, and not address the issue. That's not healthy. Tell people we have to be comfortable being uncomfortable in any type of relationship. When it comes to conversation, we have to be able to have those difficult conversations, especially with our partner. And if we cannot do that, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. Like, we cannot run from the issues, because the issues will just keep reoccurring, if that makes sense. They're not going to go away by us not talking about them. Like, we have to talk about it. And that's in any relationship that you have, even with your parents, and your children. If you're feeling some type of way about something, you have to have those conversations. You have to have the conversations that are going to put you guys in the right place. And it is difficult because you don't know how people are going to react. But as long as there's no screaming, cussing, hitting, being physical, all of those things. Everything else is okay. It's okay to be upset when we're in that conversation. It's okay for our feelings to be hurt. It's okay for us not to feel the same way. But we have to know that it has to be done and we cannot run from it. And that's it. If you're not having a good day, do not go messing up anyone else's. We don't want to mess up anybody's mental health because we're not in a good headspace. So make sure you're pouring into you so you have something to give others. If you're not able to do that, listen to some positive affirmations. Listen to some positive music. Read your Bible. Pour into yourself. Just try to do what you need to do for you. Don't go messing up no one else's day, okay? And remember, if a lot of people are telling you something about yourself and you are the common denominator, that may be something that you need to work on, okay? And it's okay. I had to work on a lot of things with my journey, a whole lot of things, and I've shared a lot of that with you guys. So it's okay if you have to do work within yourself. Just do it. We're not perfect. None of us are perfect. And mental health is a journey in itself. It's never ending. It's something that we have to be very, very consistent with. I love each and every one of you as always, Camila Squad, and y'all have a blessed and happy Wednesday. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified to see what's up on my side.